Copy, thank you.
It looks like the temp tag you provided was replaced with the Mary John Queen 014 on 12/18/2019. Same vehicle, same owner.
Okay, thank you.
2204.
Hey, chronic shusher, human being. Wait for some people to get in. Craigslist 04. What's 40K? That's right. Shit is fucked up and stuff.
Please have information from the gentleman. Send you
Hello, everybody. Wait for some more to get in here before we start. Eric Bonds? No, I'm not here to talk about Eric Bonds.
362 in service. Break. 365. Unit 53, star 225 with you.
Get my heat going in here.
I don't have any active
A
right
little
now.
chilly out. That's not too bad though. Yeah, we got 45 of you guys here with me now. We're gonna talk about
159
probable cause sheet.
159-4002.
I don't know if I can do that. I've never visited them in Jefferson County. I don't know if we're gonna chase calls.
Current black 2008 Audi out of Denver. I'll touch the car.
We might, but you know how that goes. Depends on if something good comes up or not.
Charles Lincoln Union 6.
No, tonight's is about why he got arrested. And what these charges stem from, basically. Is what would be normally be a probable cause sheet.
Yeah.
So, how many of you guys been wondering what these charges come from? How do you been wondering about that? Fiction. Yeah. Yeah, I've been wondering too. So, anyways, I went down there and got their. I requested the probable cause sheet, and they said there is no probable cause sheet. I'm like, what do you mean? They said they have on file a Jefferson County grand jury indictment instead of a probable cause sheet. They took it to a grand jury and indicted him. Now, there's certain people that texted me earlier that said they were advised not to release this information. And I'm like, well, who would advise you to not release this information? And they said, oh, the lawyer. So I'm like, well, which lawyer told you this? So he told me, and I called the lawyer and had a conversation with the lawyer. So, yeah, he doesn't deserve this. Okay, well, his indictment is for retaliation against a judge, felony class 4, 18-8-615, Colorado Revised Statute, and attempt to influence a public servant, felony 4, 18-8-306, Colorado Revised Statute. But you guys already knew the charges. So, if you notice though, today there was a third thing added on there.
Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to the stuff here in a minute about what their grand jury did and everything. Okay. if you'll notice, if you look him up now on the page, it still lists the 2 charges and a $35,000 bond, but it also lists a hold on him for another case, a misdemeanor case that he was scheduled for pretrial in February, on February 19th, there in Jefferson County. So they put a hold on him from that case. He does have court in the morning at 8 o'clock. So I don't know what tomorrow's court's going to be. I assume it's going to be about the bail, because a $35,000 bail is just ridiculous. Everybody knows that. But no, we're here. We're here because of these papers I have here. Hang on a second. Let me, yeah, I can do it this way. These papers here. The District Court, Jefferson County, filed on the 28th, which was yesterday when they arrested him. So at 12:50 p.m. they filed these papers. So this is Jefferson County Grand Jury Indictment, and here's his new case number for it. Okay, of course all that information is on the web page already. So now we're gonna get to the meat of it, right guys? So here we go, you know, the Jefferson County stuff here, and there's the district attorney, and it goes on here to say Jefferson County Grand Jury Indictment of the terms of the District Court of the year 2019-2020. The Jefferson County Grand Jury, chosen, selected, and sworn in, and for Jefferson County in the name and by the authority of the people of the state of Colorado, upon their oaths, present the following described acts, all done contrary to the form of statutes in such case made and provided, committed, or in triable in the county of Jefferson, Colorado, and against the peace and dignity of the people of the state of Colorado as stated in the counts attached hereto. Count 1, retaliation of a judge. On or about November 19th. Now pay attention here. November 19th, guys. I mean, you're talking about, what, 2 months back? 2 full months back. Eric Brandt did unlawfully and knowingly as retaliation or retribution against Judge Majid, as judge who served or is serving in a legal manner assigned to Judge Majid and involving Eric Brandt, made a credible threat or committed an act of harassment against or upon Judge Majid in violation of section 18-8-615. So this was 2 months back. We'll get to that. We'll get to who is Majid. Okay. Second count. Count 2, attempt to influence a public servant. On or about November 19, 2019, Eric Brandt did unlawfully and knowingly, unlawfully and feloniously attempt to influence Judge Majid, a public servant, by threats of violence with the intent thereby to alter or affect the public servant's decision, vote, opinion, or action concerning a matter which was to be considered or performed by the public servant or the agency or body of which the public servant was a member in violation of section 18-8-306. The facts supporting counts 1 and 2 are as follows. Now these are the facts that they have given to the grand jury. Now, if you guys know what a grand jury is basically a miniature trial where the district attorney presents evidence that they feel would be relevant to pursue a case against somebody, and by no means is it the complete facts, because things are omitted They only go by what they want presented. There is no defense at a grand jury indictment. So when they present this stuff to a grand jury, the grand jury only knows what they're told, not what's left out, nothing else. They might not see all of like a video they're using as evidence or whatever. So they pick and choose what they want to show the grand jury to see if they, you know, what they would think if they would be able to get a guilty verdict, basically, is what it is. All right. On or about November 19th, 2019, Eric Brandt appeared in county court in front of Judge Majid. At that time, Judge Majid ordered Mr. Brandt to continue to wear an ankle monitor and issued the following order. Prosecution requests protection order for named victims. Court issues box 1 and 3 protection order per prosecution's request. The defendant requests court remove GPS. Prosecution states named victim and prosecution object. The court states that it will address the matter at the next court date and asks prosecution to be ready to address exclusion zone of GPS as defendant states he lives 50 feet from named victim but has not been excluded from his home. Defendant moves for a hearing with witnesses regarding GPS. Court declines to set hearing with witness testimony. Court states it will review any legal authority in writing should defendant or prosecution file that legal authority prior to the next court date. So basically what that means, of course, is he went to see about getting his GPS monitor off of his leg, and they said, no, you're keeping it on, basically. So they left it till the next hearing for it to come up before they would address it again. Yeah, that's what the ankle monitor's on him for at this point, is the HOA one. Okay. So Mr. Brandt left the courthouse after his hearing and began live streaming on the steps of the courthouse. He was upset that Judge Majid had ordered him to continue to wear the ankle monitor. The live stream lasted for just a little over 19 minutes and covered a variety of topics, focusing primarily on the ankle monitor hearing that was just held in front of Judge Majid. So, over the course of the live stream, Mr. Brandt states the following: "You better watch this video, Ms. Majid. Bad girl, what you gonna do when the cops guy comes for you? I'm coming for you." B is when I say that I advocate for the random killing of judges and cops, the reason is to shock you into compliance. And C is, so if you don't want the violent end I am prophesizing, then do something about it and stop acting fucking stupid. D is the prostituting attorney is just as bad. I hope somebody blows her brains out. E is this shit is too serious to be joking about. So upon those facts is what they're presenting to a grand jury, by the way. Probably just those issues in the video, which means they probably took little sections of the video and showed it to them and wanted an indictment based on those alone. So I'm sure they did not show the full 19-minute video to the grand jury. So this live stream was recorded by the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. The general content of the live stream was conveyed to Judge Majid, who became upset when she was told what Mr. Brandt was saying. So that implies that Judge Majid is now a complainant in this, but I am not positive about that. So that's basically it in a nutshell. So now we have as to count 1, a true bill, and as to count 2, a true bill. There is signatures on the page that are blocked out because it was redacted. saying they agreed that to these charges. Now the funny part is they didn't take out this guy's name, which is probably his signature. Anyways, the foreperson of the 2019-2020 Jefferson County grand jury do hereby swear and affirm that each and every true bill returned in this indictment by the 2019-2020 Jefferson County grand jury was arrived at after deliberation and with the assent and agreement to the existence of probable cause by at least 9 members of the 2019-2020 Jefferson County grand jury. That's a lot of members. And this is signed, of course, which is blocked out, and then subscribed and sworn to me in the county of Jefferson, state of Colorado, the 24th day of January. Now, if you guys remember what happened on the 24th of January, does anybody remember what happened on the 24th? You probably do. His bond got revoked in Denver, and $20,000 cash bond was requested, which wasn't posted until, what was that, Monday night, Tuesday morning, I guess it was, or Monday morning, I don't remember, whatever day it was. I have a hard time keeping track of some of the days. Anyways, it was finally posted, and he got out after the weekend. But this took place on the same day that they revoked his other bond, that they made new charges. Yeah, last Friday. So this is 2 months in between these charges before it went to a grand jury. So what does that tell you guys? All right? They're like planning this, is what it seems like to me. I don't know. All right, the 2019-2020 Jefferson County Grand Jury presents the within indictment, and same as here ordered, filed this 28th day of January, which would be the day, the day after he got out, or the same day he got out? I don't remember. Probably the same day. Yeah, the same day that he got out. Or no, same day as arrest. Let's put it that way. Anyways, bond set at $35,000 cash for Eric Brandt. No contact with Judge Majid. Pretrial I can't read his scribbling.
Go ahead.
Supervision for call-ins, I guess. The defendant may file pleadings at the clerk's office. Defendant may appear in Judge Majid's courtroom if he has a set appearance. And this is signed by another judge. Yeah. So that's what's been ordered by it. So I don't know how they could approve a bond on this of $35,000. So I printed out something else here, which is pertinent, about a comprehensive guide to Colorado bail laws. We went through a change on bail laws more recently, and why they're set, how they're set, and everything like this. And we have recent Colorado Supreme Court case, People versus Jones, which applies to this, and this is why we have new laws and stuff, is because of this case. So the almost absolute power of a Colorado trial judge to set conditions of a bond. When a judge rules within his or her discretion, and an appeal of that ruling is governed by what is called the abuse of discretion standard. That judge's ruling, which includes the setting of conditions of a bond, will not be reversed on appeal unless there is an abuse of that discretion. Okay, what does that mean? All right, the man setting his bond at $35,000, for instance, right? So what is an abuse of discretion? A lower court will only be found on appeal to have abused the court's discretion if the court's decision was manifestly, arbitrarily, unreasonable, or unfair, or if the court misconstrues or misapplies the law. Now, there's specific laws that apply to this now, and we're going to get to those. A test on appeal of the judge's decision is not whether another judge would have reached a different result, but rather whether the trial court's decision fell within the range of reasonable options. Okay, when you're doing somebody's bond, you have to take into consideration certain things. So, therefore, the one bite of the apple rule applies as a reality to Colorado criminal defense lawyers. Your Colorado criminal defense lawyer will have one first chance to persuade the trial judge to set reasonable condition of bond that favor the defense at the very start of the case. So, okay, what motivates the judge in setting a bond, and what is the judge thinking? So, it goes into this stuff. Bond conditions and releases shall be sufficient to reasonably ensure the appearance of the person as required. That's what is supposed to be thought. A $35,000 bond on somebody that always appears in court seems a little bit unreasonable. I don't know about you guys, but that's, $20,000 cash bonds, $35,000 cash bonds. These are unreasonable. They're supposed to be sufficient to reasonably ensure the appearance of the person as required. So, he always goes to court. He lives in court. That's what he does. He fights them in court. So, for example, Colorado law allows a judge the right to refuse a defendant the right to leave the state while a case is pending. The judge may find that denying the defendant the right to leave the state reduces the flight risk. Put another way, compelling a defendant to remain in the state makes it more likely the defendant will appear at all court proceedings and less likely the defendant will abscond. We all know he's been given permission to travel out of the state and has always came back. So we already know that he's going to appear. It doesn't matter if it's a PR bond, $1,000 bond, or what. He appears. He's got a court date. He comes to court. Right, guys? So, the strongest argument in support of the defendant's right to reasonable conditions of a bond is derived from the ABA Standards of Criminal Justice pretrial release. So they go over what conditions they are and give them ratings. So let me see which one applies here. Let's see here. When a person is on a personal recognizance, it's not okay. Release on financial conditions should be used only when no other conditions will ensure appearance. When financial conditions are imposed, see here, this one does apply. Release on financial conditions, which means $35,000 cash, should only be used only when no other conditions will ensure appearance. When financial conditions are imposed, the court should first consider releasing the defendant on an unsecured bond. Well, they're not going to do that because they're felonies. If an unsecured bond is not deemed a sufficient condition of the release, and the court still seeks to impose monetary conditions, bail should be set at the lowest level necessary to ensure the defendant's appearance and with regard to a defendant's financial ability to post bond. The man makes, a pension, Yes, if it was a bondsman, it would be $300,000 or more. So there is no regard for the defendant's financial ability to post bond in this. So we have a failure to communicate here. So they're already going against the rulings of the upper courts about bonds. So financial conditions should not be employed to respond to concerns for public safety. Got that? Financial conditions should not be employed to respond to concerns for public safety. That means any of those judges or anything else. It is not to be used as a condition. Yes, this is a misuse of process here. So, all right, let's see here. The judicial officer should not impose a financial condition of release that results in the pretrial detention of a defendant solely due to the defendant's inability to pay. A $35,000 bond on a man that doesn't hold a regular job is definitely a pretrial detention. They cannot do a proper defense from a jail cell. We see this issue a lot. So, consistent with the processes provided in these standards, compensated sureties should be abolished. When financial bail is imposed, the defendant should be released on the deposit of cash or securities with the court, not more than 10% of the amount of the bail to be returned at the conclusion of the case. So, got that? 10% of the amount of the bail is what he should be putting, not more than. And that's including cash. How's that for fun, huh? So part of it would be like a PR, and the other part would be a cash one. So if it was 10%, that's equivalent to $350,000 bond if it's limited to 10%. But yes, his are excessive. So the 4 key laws that govern the setting of bails and bail conditions, and it gives you these Colorado revised statutes. And I found, just by reading them, I already know that they violated these. 159-4368. All right, let's see here. Setting and selection of bond criteria, for instance. Readers should note the important interaction between provisions mandating action through the use of shall or must and those that are merely permissive. The court to determine the type of bond and conditions of release. These are requires. The overall, this section requires. Review of bond and condition fixed upon return of an indictment or filing of an information or complaint, including on warrants issued after filing of charging documents. A presumption of release under least restrictive conditions unless the defendant is unbailable pursuant to the constitutional preventive detention provisions. Individualization of conditions of release included in bond schedules and express mandatory consideration of the defendant's financial condition or situation. Reasonable financial conditions and non-statutory conditions to be tailored to address a specific concern. Consideration of ways, including new bond types and stature, to avoid unnecessary pretrial detention. You guys know what they have right now? On him is a pretrial detention. A hold on him right now. Besides this $35,000 bond, there's a pretrial detention on him. What does these laws tell you? Avoid unnecessary pretrial detention. So they're violating him any way that they can at this point. I don't know if it's another 5K. You're talking about a misdemeanor case that they're talking about, that he's scheduled to appear on February 19th for. So they talk about what kind of laws or what kind of bonds, conditions of release, hearings after setting of monetary conditions of bonds. So let me see here. What else do we have? There was something here that I wanted to point out exactly. Where did it go? There was something that I believe that they violated. More types here. Right here. Let's see here. 104. I looked these up online, and specifically 16-4-103, 16-4-104, and I'd have to look it up again, and I don't have it with me. I didn't print that out, so I can't tell you about those, but I did have a few things that I did look up that weren't relative to this, that the state of Colorado, well, not the state of Colorado, the county of Jefferson County is violating at this point. But he has court in the morning at 8 a.m., which I'm going to presume they're going to set a new bond for him. Yeah, modifying pretrial detention, yes. It depends on what his pretrial conditions were for his misdemeanor. And of course, I don't remember when this case took place. I know it was last year. I don't know what this other case is that they got the hold on him for. Craigslist 04, they're in secret. There was no way to tell that. They're completely secret, and there's absolutely no way that you would know if an indictment was coming. An indictment, you don't even get a defense at it unless you actually knew about it, but they're not going to tell you. How you doing, Mark? So, out of Texas, I don't know. You never know, I guess. Well, thank you, Mark. Hey, Bell for Freedom, how you doing? It's, well, an indictment, a grand jury is different because you are not present for it. It's the district attorney and the grand jury that sits there and listens to evidence. So they just sit there and listen to evidence, and it's only little snippets usually what they're listening to. So does anybody have any questions? Any other questions, I should say.
Contact runway pending district 3. Review therapy with the name and date of birth that she provided as clear no record for the
Okay, healthy lime.
Okay.
What the fuck is wrong with these people? Yeah. That's always the question there. So what's the next step? Tomorrow morning he has court, and I'm going to assume that it's to go in front of a judge to set bail. Jefferson County has always set high bails when they arrest you. Denver, on the other hand, is at least following the law. I don't know if he has a lawyer for this particular part of it. I'm going to guess they're going to give him a public pretender to represent him for this bond hearing, where it would actually not be a bond hearing. It would be what would that be considered? I'm not that good on the court stuff yet for all that. I hope some people are going to show up down there. Yes, I did say public pretender.
Okay. Break 75 status.
Yes, he does still have a legal team, but they can't represent him going into this, I don't think. Not at the beginning like this. I don't believe.
Be back on that.
Well, I don't know. I have no idea. How's that?
Okay.
$8 a.m. in the morning, Jefferson County. Why aren't people... We don't know if his bond's going to be reduced or what yet. We don't know how much the bond will end up to be. Let's put it that way. If they follow the rules that I just outlined to you for some of this stuff, then his bond should be reduced from $35,000 cash. Because it's supposed to, you know, be just enough to make him come to court. And that's it. If a person has to spend all their money to get out of jail so they can have a defense, they don't have any money for a lawyer to have a defense. So, you guys know how that goes. Look what they're doing to Otto now. They're running him out of money so he can't get a lawyer. When that failed, they're running off all the lawyers. You think they need the same defense? How you doing, Just Obey? No, it can't be a PR because it's a felony that they're charging him with. So they're not going to give him a PR bond on it.
Last of Rodriguez, first of Marcia, Mary Adam Robert.
But they should give him a surety bond at minimum, where it'll cost him 10% of the bond. And the amount of the bond is excessive. Well, that's what they probably try for, Top Rock. But that's illegal under our state law. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you meant. Under our own state law, they have to provide a lower bond for a person that doesn't, you know, like, he doesn't make $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year. So, and he has gone to every court that, you know, he's been, that he needed to go to. You know, if he gets arrested or cited or whatever, he goes to court. So the bond amount is only supposed to be in the amount that would compel him to show up for court. They technically could give him a PR bond and he would still show up. He is already compelled to come to court to fight the charges against him. How you doing, David?
Thank you.
What have been the bond amounts been for light cases? That's a good question. They hit him with high bonds in Jefferson County always, instead of having a low bond, because well, part of the problem with that is it was a preset bond on a lot of them. Like this one in particular was ordered by a judge who should have known better. You know, that judge has violated the Colorado Revised Statutes. You cannot put a bond on them for the safety of the public. You know, that's, yeah, abusive process, yes. A lot of money. Denver has abused this system too. $20,000 bonds on him in Denver. Yeah, a lot of the times you get by with a $5,000 bond for a felony here, depending on what the felony is, what level it is and whatnot, what the crime is. But when there's no violence involved, then it shouldn't be that high. Yes, they want him in jail for a long time. His bond is at $35,000, but it should be lowered tomorrow. That's what we're hoping for tomorrow. Can you take that to his public defender tomorrow? Well, Gary, there's a bunch of papers I'd like to get to him tomorrow, but I don't know if I'm going to be awake for it. So I need to print out a 46-page thing to give to the public defender tomorrow, which includes actual legal actions involving bonds and things like this. You're off Kentucky and Sheridan if I'm close by. Well, currently I'm not close by, but I need to go print the things out. But most of these papers, the public pretender would already know about, but that doesn't mean that they're going to do their job and actually argue the right stuff. Yes, Eric said he had a dream. I don't think I have your email, Brian. I have your phone, but I don't have your email, I don't think.
What?
What do you mean on what charge? He's facing 2 felonies right now, is what he's got against him. The retaliation against a judge and attempt to influence a public servant is what he's facing at this moment. And that's what he's going to be probably going to court for tomorrow morning, is the arraignment is what I needed to think of earlier. The arraignment, which would set a bond amount. So let's see if they're going to set the bond amount to a reasonable amount. So yeah, excessive bail, yes. Well, they set it at $35,000 to begin with. No, he allegedly threatened the judge. Baby. Allegedly threatened the judge. He is not presumed guilty. He's presumed innocent until proven guilty. You can't say that he threatened a judge. He presumably threatened a judge. And he is innocent until proven guilty. And while it is a serious crime he is being charged with, that cannot be the basis for keeping him in jail with excessive bail. But this last page alone right here, oh yeah, jury, this page right here, with a bond set at $35,000 cash for Eric Brandt with a judge's signature on it, is excessive, because he did not take into consideration anything of the factors that are applied for setting a bail. So setting a $35,000 cash only bond is BS. And well, yeah, it should be an arraignment and a bond hearing as well. Well, yeah, and 85% of his cases are dismissed or acquitted. That's a pretty big win streak on that, huh? You know why that they don't drop charges right away? Do you guys understand why they don't drop charges that they have on him up until the last minute? It's so that they can use them against him on things like this. A lot, Big Rooster. Yeah, well, it's not only stacking, but yeah, they compile and they don't dismiss them until the last minute when it goes to court, because they can be used at times like this to revoke bonds and make it more of a hardship on the person so that they can't get out of jail. This is their punishment to people they don't like.
261 came back clear and expired on 2002.
Yes, he was supposed to go to trial. Matter of fact, he had a trial that was scheduled for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I believe, of this week. Yeah, looks like he's a criminal on paper, but that's what the paperwork I was given was to prove that all this stuff, you know, it doesn't apply because all that. All right, where'd my phone go? My other phone. Hang on a second, let me find my phone.
2721 suspicious occupied
There it
vehicle.
is. Somebody's texting me,
2721, go ahead.
and I'm gonna guess who. Oh yeah,
8900 block of Yosemite. Queen Henry Adams.
I know exactly who's texting me now.
493.
The person who said, "Oh, don't release that. The lawyer said so." And I'm going to tell you right now what the lawyer told me, because I spoke to him on the phone. The lawyer said if it's public information, it's public information. It's better that this information comes from us rather than out on the news media putting their spin on it, putting their story on it, making up what they want the narrative to say. So by me releasing this information, he was perfectly fine with. His lawyer is perfectly fine with this, if that answers your question. The last time we should have released the information too, regardless of what it said. All right, that's settled for that. So last time I should have released the information before it came out on the TV news. Well, yes, anybody could get this information. Anybody can get what I just read you. It is public information. So I'd rather it come from one of us telling you exactly what it says rather than you pulling it up on some TV news station's website and reading about it and them putting their spin on it. Because that's what it is at that point. It's a story. You don't get to see everything that these pages say. Well, yeah, failure to appear is what happened to Otto because they arrested him. They knew what they were doing there. Hey, Jeff, how you doing? So, I talked with Eric's lawyer about this because I was told Eric's lawyer had advised against releasing any information. And I talked to him specifically in relation to things like this. And he's like, I have no problem with you releasing anything like this because it is public information. Doesn't matter, Jay. What was the question? Did I miss there? Let me go back here. How far back? Cascadia. There we go. Bond amount has to be reasonable for the alleged crime. What are other cases in the Denver area bond amounts for the same crime? I couldn't tell you what that is. So, but it's rare when they do a cash only bond like that. They're doing it to punish him. The recap, Jeff, a federal grand jury indictment came down stemming from November 19th of last year, 2 months ago, over 2 months ago, before they took it to the grand jury. They took it to the grand jury on the same day they revoked his bond in Denver and put a $20,000 cash bond on him. Yes, as they're saying, it's a threat to a judge, is what they're saying. But even the points that they put across here, most of you guys probably watched the live stream for that and know that, you know, the first thing he says, you know, bad boy, bad girl, whatever. What you gonna do when the fuck the cops guy comes for you? He always says that. That's never intended to be any threat whatsoever, other than a legal threat of, you know, a legal precedent of, you know, going in front of the judge and winning his cases in court. That's what he does. What do you think about the Mouse calling? Oh, I don't know about that, Jimmy Woods. I didn't get to see that. I was busy running down records today. Contrary to popular belief, I do other things too, but one of those things happens to be chasing down public records, including this that I just read you. But I had to do a public records request for something else. And I told you guys some of that already about a SWAT action that happened in Arvada that nobody had any idea about, that it wasn't in the news. And I went and requested the records for it. And I'm told that there is 93 reports for this single case, just on the criminal side of it. 93 reports. I'm like, what? 93? And that's over the recording, or not the recording, the story. It's the story on the body that was found in the car. And it turned into a SWAT action that nobody knew that a SWAT action took place. So I'm trying to determine how in the hell did it become a SWAT action to begin with? And why didn't anybody get told about this? They got told about the body and about the arrest, but they didn't get told about the SWAT action. Oh, Cascadia, it sounds good. Did David Lane take his call? Did he talk to him on the air? We're in the library. We're in the law library, not the gun range, right? We spend our time in the law library, not the gun range. What's going to happen? Court is going to happen tomorrow morning, Jeff, at 8 a.m. in Jefferson County. I'm assuming it's going to be an arraignment. A lot of times when he gets sent to Jefferson County and they put him on bond, we have him bond out so fast that there's usually not a reason to go to the arraignment to do anything. Even though they put $5,000 on misdemeanors on him, they were surety bonds. So it didn't cost as much to get him out. Nobody has challenged them on this issue yet. I did bring it up to Eric recently. I'm like, when are you going to get after Jefferson County about these outrageous bonds they're putting on people? And he said to me, there's not enough teeth in it, you know, to go after. I'm like, yeah, you say that now, but what about when your bond's too high where you can't get out? And now look where we're at. Will anyone be allowed to go into his court? Agent Gray, I would assume so. It's supposed to be a public court. You know, a public court hearing. So I'm hoping Liberty Freak's going to be there in the morning at 8 a.m. at Jeffco. But he might have his own court stuff. I don't know what his court schedule is.
Well, and he's clear.
Gary Rodriguez will be there? Okay. This needs to get out to a large audience. Yeah, it'll get out there. I'm going to send copies of this information out to people that I know for that I have their emails that can also do stories on it. Yes, he has been charged with the felony before. Matter of fact, he's out on bond on felonies. And that's part of the issue. But now they're putting a hold on him for a misdemeanor that was set for February 19th. There's a hold on him right now where if somebody went in there right now and paid $35,000 cash to get him out of there, they wouldn't let him out of there because there's a hold on him from a misdemeanor trial not due until February 19th. Only one Cascadia. I believe only one is related to Garignani, except for, I make that two. One where he was arrested for the trespass. The other one where Eric is suing him. So technically two. So it's defendant Garignani. Can you slip this story into one of your strings? I hope they would pick it up. No, my stringers would not pick it up because it is, when I do stringers, it's video of scenes, not stories like this. I can do my own story like I am doing now and send links to it to the stations, but that's about it. What's over, Liberty Freak?
Yeah, everyone. Clear, just on scene, bro.
I declared on scene. What is it?
The major networks, meaning the TV stations, I don't know. You got to remember that the media isn't entirely impartial. You know?
320 on their house. Let me know your locations of the building.
Media writes their own stories, and a lot of times it's not very appealing to the public, you know, for what they're writing about, like Eric Brandt in that story.
Manager.
Now, the only one I've seen that does a good story on his stuff is Westward magazine. Westward makes stories on him all the time, and they're all in a positive light. You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
So if you want anybody to recover it, get a hold of Westward magazine. Yeah. Well, the best news, yeah, it's always us giving us the real news. That's why I came on and read the grand jury indictment that's was handed down. Yeah, the Westward. Is there what? A qualified... Can we hold their qualified immunity against them more to slow the corruption? It depends on what the issue is. Their qualified immunity applies to specific things, and it wouldn't apply to a grand jury indictment, because a way that I was trying to explain was a grand jury indictment, it's kind of like a mini trial before they even arrest you. You are not present for it. The evidence provided to the grand jury is only evidence that they want them to see, and they can omit whatever they want. You have no defense lawyer there to represent you. It's kind of like a mini trial to say, hey, do you think we can get these charges to stick based on these facts that we're presenting you? You know, can we find this guy guilty? Is what it comes down to. So they present what they want to the grand jury. You get no defense for it. And if the jury says, yeah, we think that you could get a conviction based on these facts, then they sign on to it, and then they arrest you, and then you go to trial over it. So it's really an unfair, well, it ain't impartial. It's an unfair process of the law in a sense, because you have no defense against it. Yeah, he never told anybody to be violent. We all know what he advocates and, you know, what he says. And he does push it to the limit on those First Amendment rights of freedom of speech. Well, we can hope so, April. I don't know about that, about him telling people specifically to be violent. I don't think he's ever specifically said to be violent. I do not believe he's ever said to do something specific. Well, the CPS case was dismissed out of Jeffco. What's her name? That case got dismissed. You have to be smart about the laws if you're going to be in this. You cannot go in this blindly, or you will get blindsided, arrested, and shanghaied. You will end up in jail real quick, real fast, without a clue as to a defense, if you do not know the laws while doing this stuff. That's why a lot of people do not go out there recording, because they don't know the laws. They don't want to get in trouble for it. And it takes a lot to go do that. You know, to even go out there and stand out there recording a police officer interacting with somebody else because of intimidation. The intimidation factor. You guys see it all the time when we're filming. Just the intimidation factor. You know, like, for instance, I pulled up to that DUI stop in Westminster, right on the edge of Adams County there. And the cops came to my vehicle during their DUI stop and asked what I was doing. Told me to stay in my vehicle. I'm like, I'm not staying in my vehicle. I'm getting out and I'm recording you. They backed up. They let me exit my vehicle. They let me record, because I know it's law to allow me to. We have state laws here that protect us, that allow that. I was not the subject of their stop. They had absolutely zero right to tell me to stay in my vehicle. They knew it. They knew that I knew they couldn't tell me to do that. It's that kind of intimidation, though, that they constantly would do to people to keep them from being recorded, and, you know, for you to see those things that we show you. Yeah, you don't need to get defensive with them, but if you assert your rights, you know you're right, you know, you stick to your guns on it. A lot of people wouldn't be able to withstand the intimidation factor of officers telling you things like that. And that's not a bad thing. You know, fighting authority takes a lot of guts, you know. And you're not entirely fighting authority. You're only fighting for your rights. So what you're doing is lawful. What they're doing normally is unlawful, unless they allow you to do what you're trying to do, which is lawful by state law here. So, knowing the law helps. That's the first thing that you need to know. And you guys learn a lot about the law just watching us do this. You get to learn about 13-21-128 about interfering with the cameraman. You get to learn about 16-3-311, which says that I can film that police officer performing his duties. You know, you get to learn about a bunch of things that happen in the course of our interactions with these police officers and everybody else. Press passes, what? Search your car? Is that what that said? Search your car after he pulled me over for no real reason. Oh yeah, they'll do that a lot. Yeah, prior restraint, turn off that camera. I'm recording you. Turn off that camera. I got you right here on film. On body cam, turn off your camera. You don't need that camera. That's prior restraint. They don't share that footage with you. You watch Justin, he'll tell you. Same thing. They do not share that footage. That footage is for their protection, not yours. To get that footage, it takes a lot to be able to get it. Usually, it takes a court order of some sort to get it, in some cases. They will try to intimidate you from recording the interaction. Yeah, a lot of times it's edited. You're right about that. They will edit the hell out of that shit too. Yep. Well, it was 2 months ago that, over 2 months ago, this video was made that they're talking about. The street cams are used for seatbelt violations. I don't know what they're used for anymore. They're not for your protection. They're not for my protection. They're for their protection. Have no, doubt about that. It isn't for your protection that they're recording. It's for their protection. And they edit the hell out of anything that they want. We can't edit anything and submit it to the courts like that, like they do. That's for damn sure. They'll edit the hell out of something and submit it to the courts. They do it all the time. They'll say it was for, to redact public information or private information or something,
It's gonna be a female.
There's a lot of reasons why they do that. That's why you should always record. Who gave up?
That'd be great. For 1915.
Yeah. No, YouTube didn't take it down. It was made private. Eric's channel's still there. It was just made private again.
361 parking.
No, that isn't correct, Texas Chance Girl.
7086 East 58 Avenue.
That is not correct. Tomorrow should be a bond hearing / arraignment where they should set a reasonable bond for him. If they can't set a reasonable bond for him, then there's actions that can be taken about that, about not having a reasonable bond. But $35,000 for somebody that always appears in court is a little bit much. Yes, he's got a hold, pretrial hold, which is probably going to be addressed tomorrow morning as well. Pretrial hold for his February 19th pretrial is what he was set for, but that one's on a hold for now, that he can't bond out until he goes in front of a judge, apparently. They might be trying to revoke that bond as well to keep him in longer. Oh, Pikes is in here? It's not snowing, no, not here. Well, they could post it. Brian, do you have that current poll link?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Clear units 20.
Brian, do you have the current poll link? I don't know if they're putting money into the poll at this point.
At Downey in the wiggle this up with Lincoln, William Roberts, 0870 Texas.
Well, that would be nice, McLove, but that would never happen. You know that. Just dismissed would be enough. Dismissed from their post for not doing their jobs.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, altering evidence is one of the things they've done.
Can you create me a follow-up card for 71?
Eric's case showing closed. Yeah, there's a lot of cases that have been closed, guys.
977.
A lot of them have been dismissed.
Hey, Berman, are you on scene?
85% of his cases dismissed or acquitted.
Copy now, 2260.
Well, let's see here. Pikes has 3 out of 4 dismissed so far, yeah.
2631 parking.
2631.
What was that?
265th Ave. Ocean David 849. Ocean David 849.
Oh, that's good to hear, April. Yeah, his knowledge is pretty big on the law. You were in court yesterday on a retaliation traffic ticket, and I motioned court to compel video evidence. Said I don't have it, and said he doesn't represent police. Yeah. So they're saying is they don't have evidence, is what he's saying. No man's TV. What do you mean? What? Oh, okay. So, Pike's example has been heard by some officials in Manitou. Yeah. Okay. They won't even let Eric get to court anymore without arresting him again. Seems like.
Sure, take it.
Liberty, what's the status on a pool for bailing out Eric? Are we going to wait until tomorrow to start a pool for him to get him out if they've reduced the bond to reasonable? It sounds like what we're going to do is wait till tomorrow after court to figure out if his bond's going to be reduced to a reasonable amount that we can actually get him out.
860 yards, 575, 575.
Okay, thanks.
So more than likely that's what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to start a new PayPal pool link or not. I don't know what the deal is for who's going to handle that. Well, yeah, I know they know his location 24/7. There's a ghost behind you.
It's gonna be at 9001 with Charles.
So
Mary
yeah,
King, 336. Charles Mary King 336.
just one of them things. Any cop watch tonight? I don't know yet. I still need to go home and print some papers. I didn't catch to see if Liberty was going to be there in the morning or not. But I think he sent the same papers to Liberty. Liberty can print them as well, if Liberty's going to go to the court. Okay, Big Rooster. Well, you could always take that to the grand jury too, Cascadia. Maybe they would say that's true. You'll be there. Are you going to print out the things from the lawyer that he sent you? He said that he sent them to you and to me. So if you print them out to hand them to the public pretender, it might help. The ones listing all of the cases showing he's had an 85% dismissal or acquittal, and that he always shows up. And it goes on about the bond amounts, about reasonable bond, affordable, taking into consideration a person's situation. I don't know about that. If they can hold an indictment, I would think that if they got an okay on an indictment, that they'd have to go forward with it right away. Now here's the other question: how many times did they put it in front of a grand jury before they got that indictment? I wonder if there's a record of that. If they put it in front of a grand jury like a dozen times before they finally got an indictment on it. I wonder if that's even possible. I mean, you don't know about the proceedings of a grand jury indictment. Thank you, April. Yeah, it's like a secret jury. I don't know the laws on a grand jury. You know, like if Jefferson County has these, you know, daily or what, how many times can they present a case to the grand jury before it's accepted, or, you know, if it's been declined, if they can take it in front of them again, or what? I don't know, Texas Chance Girl. That's a possibility. I don't know how they work the grand jury indictments. So that's probably something I need to research. Let's figure out if they can do that, if they can take it in front of the grand jury multiple times. After all, you know, one day it's one jury, the next day it might be a whole new jury, whole different set of people. I think that their timing stinks, though. I mean, I think they planned this so that they could keep him in jail, to put his bond so high that he couldn't get out of jail, which is a violation of the law. I mean, I was just reading you about the guide to Colorado bail laws, and they're stacking the charges to try to keep him in. Yeah, it's another question. Who picks a grand jury? For another question is, I wonder if they can stack a jury by who they select to come in when they know somebody's trial is coming up. You ever thought about that? Who selects who comes in when for a jury?
You're gonna get a better location for Tuesday date.
Has anybody ever thought about that?
6980
272, do you copy?
I copy.
No, bondsmen in Indiana wouldn't do anything. I mean, laws here are different than there. If you want to do research on anything, you use the internet and, you know, search up Colorado. If you want to look up Colorado laws. Yeah. No, there's you wouldn't be able to help with the bond place right at this point. Believe me, not at this point. They want a $35,000 cash bond on them at this point. That means you don't even need a bondsman at this point. So. Tomorrow we'll know for sure if he can get out on a surety bond. Grand jury is in session for 1 week per month for 3 consecutive months. I wonder when it started, when their cycle is. Let's put it that way. Is it at the end of the cycle, or did it just start?
Everybody's been separated.
Oh, wait a minute. You said for 1 week per month for 3 consecutive months. Oh, it doesn't say what week per month. Yeah, they delay as much as they can. You guys know that. You guys know why they delay. Too tall, Rob. Wait until tomorrow after court before we start anything with getting him out. He's got court tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Liberty will go live, I'm sure, right after and let you know what happened during it. If they have reduced his bond to a reasonable amount, and if it's going to be like a surety bond or not. I don't think that they can legally do that, Emily. I really don't think that they can keep the bail that high. That is not a reasonable bail where a person can be expected to have an effective defense. Like I said earlier, the purpose of bail is to get the person to show up for court. The minimum, yeah, cigarette sizzling, yeah. The minimum amount of money it takes to get that person to show up for court. And in Eric's case, it could be $1 and he'd still show up for court, even on these charges. So, yeah, there's some things.
X-ray 536.
So, any other questions there? Yeah, they know he's going to show up. It's a punishment that they're using, which is in our law that they can't do. So if he's got even a fairly good public defender tomorrow, he should be able to get the bond reduced. There's absolutely no reason that it should be $35,000. It should never been $20,000 from Denver. How often do they follow the statutes or care? That's true, Emily. They've admitted, you know, the public defender's office has admitted in court that they weren't following the law. And they don't care. They're not going to be prosecuted. That's right. He does live for schooling the court. Yeah, that's true, Emily. They don't care. They do tell you to appeal it, and nobody pays the price. That is true.
3620 for my 7th grade.
Funny, Jamie Deeds. Jamie Deeds wants to sleep with you, Liberty.
849.
It's all a money game? Yeah, it is a money game. They know Eric doesn't have the money, but they know that his followers have money because they just bailed him out for $20,000. But they're hoping to run that well dry. That's what it's all about, is running that well dry, so they don't have the financial support of the community that follows, you know, these people of well, not these people, of the auditors, of the people that go out and record, of the people that go out and protest, you know, the ones that want to keep our rights. They want that well to dry up. It's what they're doing to Otto. Yeah, they're hitting the whole movement. That's what they're trying to do. Let's hit up the whole movement, and maybe the movement will drop him. I don't think the movement will drop Eric, ever. The support that Eric get, I don't think there'd be that many people that would drop the support of Eric. Yeah, it's a personal thing, but they're hoping that he loses people's support because it's costing the community financially. A lot of people watch this stuff and they know it's not right, and it creates more people saying, hey, this ain't right, and it gets them motivated to go out there and record. How do you think I got started in this? I got motivated to come out here and record because of Eric. So, them restricting our First Amendment rights is pissing people off.
Ocean Lincoln, George. 980. Ocean Lincoln, George. 980.
Oh, yeah. So, a lot of people stick by Eric for a reason, because, you know, what he represents. He represents us fighting back at the system for trying to take away our rights. When you can't hold up a sign on a city sidewalk without getting arrested, there's something wrong with that. When, you know, the law says you can do it and the cop comes along and says you're under arrest, there's something wrong with the system. A lack of training. You know, what can a person do, what they can't do. So when they want to be tyrants,
977.
yeah, but in the meantime, Cascadia, that money be tied up. But right now they're trying to pound him into submission to shut him up any way that they can. It's cost the city of Denver millions of dollars to try to shut him up, and it didn't work. So now they're trying to make it cost him a lot of money to shut him up. You know, for him to keep talking, it's going to cost him a lot of money, is what basically they're doing. They're reversing it now. They couldn't shut him up in courts. All them acquittals, all them dismissals. Yeah. Yeah. Well, if it can happen to Eric, it can happen to anybody. It can happen to any one of us. You've seen it happen to many of us. All of us that go out and recording, you see it happen to a lot of us, rights violations. Oh, that's interesting. Google says the prosecutor has unlimited attempts to present the case before a grand jury to try to get an indictment. Unlimited attempts. I wonder how many attempts that they made to finally get it. I wonder if that's a matter of public record. You know, if it's all secret, or if we can find that out. How many times they've attempted to get him indicted before one jury finally said, yeah. I wish one of the lawyers was on right now that could tell me the answer to that. We're waiting on that community control. We're going to wait till tomorrow, I think, until after his court to find out if they've reduced it. Good morning, UK Brummy. So hopefully tomorrow morning, his bond will be changed to a surety bond for one, and reduced to a reasonable amount. Just the same, UK Brummy. Same stuff as usual. Tonight we went over the grand jury indictment that came down for Eric. Of course, I would love to know the answer to that one. How many times it went in front of a grand jury before he was indicted. Because I'm not handling it is why I say I would wait on that. It's what time is it? It's 11:37 right now. So little over 8 hours from now, Eric will be in court. About 8.5 hours he'll be in court waiting to talk to the judge. Probably to plea, which he'll probably say, I'd like to withhold my plea until I speak to a lawyer. And then they'll talk about the bail. You got court next week sometime, Brian? Okay. Yeah, that's true about Winehouse. Sorry, Winehouse. If the prosecutor reframes it, they can bring it back again. Yeah, it's possible. Oh, that would be interesting if we can get to them here, though, KS. Find out how many times it's been in front of the grand jury before they got the indictment that allowed them to arrest him again on the stuff. After all, it's just the jury that gets to hear it. I don't know who runs the grand jury stuff there. It's not open to the public, I don't believe. That's something I'll have to look into about the grand jury stuff for Colorado. She entered a jury for you. She entered a plea for you, you mean? Yeah, when I went to court for my curfew ticket, I didn't make a plea right away. I told him I wished to speak to a lawyer and I wished to see the evidence against me before I made a plea. And a plea was not entered until I had a lawyer representing me standing next to me in front of the judge. How you doing, Myra Winslow? Well, these are felonies they charged him with, Cascadia. He's charged with 2 felonies this time. So they definitely wanted him on felonies. So it's big question is how many times it went in front of that jury or a jury. I think that's the case for that community control. They might be using the old pool that helps Eric's cause, but I would wait until tomorrow morning in 8 hours to find out what's going on. You know, once he has had his court tomorrow, and we'll know for sure if his bond's going to be reduced or changed to a surety. Then we'll have a number, a target number that we can go for, and hopefully it's one that we can meet. Because $35,000 cash bond is a punishment. Okay, Brian. Only the prosecutor and court reporter are present during the proceedings, not the judge, and the results are sealed. Okay, Cascadia, but what about the subject of it? Is the subject sealed? Like, you know, against Eric Brandt, you know, against who? Are those sealed too? You know, who the subject of the grand jury is? Grand jury met, wait a minute. Monday, the grand jury met Monday through Thursday this week in Jefferson County. Well, we're talking about last week on Friday, Jamie. Last week on Friday. And it isn't even, this week yet isn't even over. It's only Wednesday now, so it ain't even Thursday. So they can't say that they met, you know, Monday through Thursday this week because they haven't met for tomorrow's yet. $7,000 a day in hearings. Yeah. Last Friday, not this Friday. Last Friday is the day they indicted him on the 24th.
Should be for Wesley Safety Systems to update the 911 line with static on call expert.
Good.
Do show the same call for service on 118 clear out our park.
That is true, Broken Arrow.
Not 2343.
368 from 67 Federal.
And you're at 2343.
No, he was indicted on the 24th. On last Friday, the same day they revoked his bond in Denver and gave him a $20,000 cash bond on that one. And he didn't get out till this week. But they indicted him last Friday. Somebody planned all this so that it would all be done at the same time, so he would get hit with one after another after another. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I'll have to ask the lawyer more questions about a grand jury indictment. I'm guessing. Probably can't get too much information on him here. online
272
for how it all functions and everything like that. So, yep, smoke them if you got them.
100,000 Ultra Street.
We haven't even heard a good call on the radio all night yet.
741 to 721, I rewrote that one. I guess the truck.
Of course, I've been paying that much attention, but it's been like an hour or 40 minutes we've been streaming. I haven't heard anything interesting on the radio. Yeah, probably April.
2019 on a gray 2017 Nissan Standard Westminster, code 6 at 2345.
Yeah, grand juries. There's a lot of stuff we need to learn about the law. This bail stuff, there is law. These are things we need to know too.
262, I did speak with Aurora Records, and they're advising that that vehicle of interest is actually going to be an attempt to locate. Just wasn't put in the vehicle or in the system correctly.
What are his charges? He's got 2 felonies against him, Big E. Retaliation against a judge, felony 4, attempt to influence a public servant, felony 4. It isn't the highest of felonies, like murder, which would require a $35,000 cash bond. You know, that's something you would see for murder, a $35,000 cash bond.
2346.
Parking violation.
2741.
11304.
Yeah.
East 116. And I'll be okay.
What's that?
2246.
Oh, yeah, I could, April. We're at Walmart already, though, April.
Right, 2246.
We're at Walmart right now. We're in the parking lot of Walmart. That's where we're sitting.
So two Vados. I need to climb. Hold on.
Tell me, 2347.
Yeah, it was, Beach Gal. It was kind of funny. It's like, I need to get some soda. I'm like, yeah, okay, go get some soda then. Comes back with a basket full of stuff.
Yes, ma'am, that's for.
Okay, so if you're for
Yeah, most Walmarts do look the same. This one's open 24 hours a day. This Walmart.
And 306. My MDT is down at GTA. My calls, please.
Ooh, that's some big charges, community control.
2348.
How is Eric? I haven't seen Eric yet, so those going to court tomorrow will see him. I'm sure he's doing good. I've never visited him at Jeffco. He always gets out so fast in Jeffco that we never have the time to visit there. Has anyone spoken to Ass today? You mean spoken to Eric?
About 3 minutes.
He's talked to people on the phone, I'm sure.
20th Avenue, older model Mercedes.
I'm sure he's talked to
male drivers,
the people at the house.
unable to maintain leads or speed. Last name approaching the 104th. RP willing to sign. Discretionary contact only.
I copy. You can show me a vibe and you can just about it.
Oh yeah, everybody likes him in jail.
22349.
We can go there and get them all pounding on the windows. Yeah. Show your receipt. Yeah.
Junior, it's just on car stop.
Where are we going, Biggie?
Come on.
711 101 Melody, Tom Motion George 012. Tom
Yeah,
Motion George
chaos.
012.
But they're probably all
Confirming
sleeping now.
104th and Melody.
Oh, you want to go? You want to go to the jail? They're probably all sleeping though, and they'll probably get yelled at if they start pounding on the windows at this time of night. All the lights will be out. Yeah, the lights will be out.
Perform, come back 2350.
Go wake them up. I would bet they don't even have them in the front part either. Probably have them in the back part of the jail where you can't see out a window to see us if we're out front protesting.
060 Williamson, Tom, ground floor. It is abandoned and unoccupied.
They will hem you up for inciting a riot. That's possible.
Listing clear expired 10 of 2017.
I don't have any flags with me even.
Chevy out of Denver.
I don't even have any signs.
17 out of Commerce City. 2351.
Man, that lady sounds depressed on the radio. It's definitely not cheery.
271, it's going to be 6-1 on that traffic stop. Copy, thank you, 2351.
Inciting quiet. No cop watching tonight. Well, I haven't even heard anything on the radio worth going to yet. Nothing at all. Blink, Big Daddy. I don't know about that.
Time to change 8031 I-76. DD31 I-76. Have a party name. You need to be taken back on a corrections violation. They advise that male party is extremely decaying, causing problems. RP is requesting 2 deputies.
We got a drunk guy.
Okay.
352.
I didn't catch the address though. It was I-76 and something.
368, Tyrone 76.
And at 2352.
We could go out looking for cops tonight, but I haven't even heard Brighton on the radio tonight, really. My right quarter panel, what was wrong with my right quarter panel?
368.
That was just my tail light.
74 aired on car to car.
And I have it duct taped together for that,
Okay.
for my bumper cover. It's duct tape right now. I had to buy a new one. Yep, crunch. So.
You should be attached to the car. Can you go ahead and confirm once, please?
But yeah, I have to get a new bumper cover, have it painted and everything. The tail light doesn't fit 100% because of the crunch. I have to figure out where the high spot is and tap it down and yeah, blink. I-76, yeah, intoxicated, 2 deputies, yeah. But it's on there. My tail light's on there. I got the European style ones on the back of the
364 time and change.
Of the Jeep right now for the time being. It might get leaky. Not likely. That's not the way that they're designed.
1 detained, 2664.
You don't have access to inside the Jeep from that spot, you know, from the tail light or from the bumper cover. Neither give you access to inside of the vehicle. We're doing February 10th. Those cops, what? Those cops all tyrants. Yeah, April. I was there on the February or January 5th one as well. But I don't know what they have planned for down there
Turn 6 won't be clear.
for February 10th.
Yes, 2354.
Eric was mentioning something about a week or 2 weeks around the area so that people can go camping down there. Of course, you're talking about camping in February. You missed the show, Adam 12? Yeah. So, I don't know
2631 parking.
what all the plans are for the Texas thing. I'm not in Texas, so I'm not part of organizing anything that's going on down there. For people going down there, for people showing up, all that. So I couldn't tell you anything about what's going to happen down there in Texas.
2003 Chevy expired in November out of Commerce City, 2355.
This lady sound depressed to you guys or what?
Or 27, they come.
Lower 27.
Springtime cash flow.
When you confirm the warrants, can you also confirm the runway status, please?
Springtime. It'll be warming up this coming weekend.
Joe, I think 799.
Okay, April.
2356.
Dispatched is sad. Eric is locked up. Could be.
I'll see 57.
Could very well be.
Copy, I'm seeing at 2356.
Blink. He's got court in the morning.
764, I'll see time to change.
I'm seeing 2356.
No, I don't get out towards Kansas. I hate Kansas, by the way. Eric has court at 8 o'clock in the morning. I believe it would be an arraignment and bond hearing at that point. So we're hoping that his bond gets reduced from the $35,000 cash bond. So there's your update. I read the grand jury indictment pages, and I read some information about how they set bail bonds here in Colorado earlier. So if you rewatch, you'll get that in the first part of the stream. For where, Brian? The I-76 drunk one? Oh, yeah, I'm not worried about going to see a drunk. Yeah, cash flow it is. $35,000 cash bond, mind you, was set from the grand jury indictment, which is way excessive. So it's way excessive on his bond at this point. So once he goes in front of the judge, we're hoping it's going to be reduced. If he was in Denver, he would have been in front of a judge already. Like today, he would have been in front of a judge. But Jefferson County likes delaying stuff.
Negative, probably NDT issues, thank you. 2258.
I just wish the issue about the high bonds in Jefferson County was addressed before this had happened. This is Adams County I'm listening to. Blink.
You're welcome at 2358.
Adams County, Colorado is what I'm listening to right now, which covers North Glen, Commerce City, Brighton, and Adams County. So it covers multiple areas for it.
3 North explores runaway missing person status has been confirmed as well, also attached to the card.
Copy, thank you.
2359.
Or if you can touch CR, please. Warrants and well,
Yeah, pretty much. It isn't exactly that though. It's we're gonna make you shut up and charge you $35,000 if you want your freedom to be able to speak again. That's more like what it is.
10 or 6 to work, okay?
6261, okay. 2359.
That's just the way that the radio sounds. When Denver wasn't encrypted, you didn't hear that clicking noise, and it was a lot quieter for listening to Denver's. They barely use the scanner now. They resorted to cell phones. They're using cell phones for their calls so that they can avoid Chuck, huh? I think that would be considered illegal for them to be using their cell phones to go to calls. Their transparency is gone if they're resorting to using cell phones to contact their officers to go to calls.
800 Block Tower Road, Boy, Ida, Georgia, 473. Boy, Ida, Georgia, 473.
Is a scanner app superior? No, a scanner is superior.
I got and confirming that was the 300 block of tower.
800 Block.
Sounds like they got some speed trap going down there on tower, maybe.
2015 Toyota Prius, green color, clear and current.
That's true. Dennis, that is true. I don't know about that, Liberty Freak. That's what we're hoping for tomorrow. Because right now it's an unreasonable bond. If we can get it changed to a surety bond, we only need 10% of it. That's something we can raise.
Area.
If it gets decreased, changed to a surety bond, something.
There's 702.
Like I said, a purpose of a bond is to make it, to compel somebody to come to court. He's not going to be given a PR on a felony, Brian. You already know that. He's not going to be given a felony or a PR. But that's the purpose of a bond, is to make sure that, ensure that the person is compelled to show up for their court date. And we already know Eric doesn't even really need a bond to show up for his court date. He could have been cited and released, and he would have shown up for his court date. Yeah, you can't listen to Denver anymore.
Female caught chest breathing attempted with a high fever. Heritage 02.
Man, this lady sounds sick. Somebody tell that dispatcher to go home.
Someone just say 9 months.
Yes, sir.
5-8, probably.
What's that 50th and Sheridan?
03.
Three 6-1 with the area.
In the area 03.
Yeah, she's got coronavirus.
Clear 03.
Unit, 1 juvenile male, starting 98 point.
03.
Yeah, Cascadia, that's right.
Welcoming back to 2015 GMC Sierra, black and color, clear and current out of your city.
She sounds like she's dying. $5,400 Sheridan. What's there, Brian? What's going on in that $5,400 Sheridan? What was the call? Little bit of buffer on my side over here for once.
You're out.
6-3.
Come on, Brian, what was the call?
H&M construction zone. The gate open next to the water towers.
You guys recognize this spot,
And
by
I'm
the
sorry,
way?
what construction zone?
Called the H&M. It's right next to the new PD on the west side.
This is the spot where they had the RV fire right in front of me,
I'll move down just a second.
right here. The RV fire happened right here. You guys remember that? That's where we're sitting at, is this spot where that RV fire happened.
Clear, 05.
You never answered me, Brian. What's that 5400 Sheridan?
Clear, 06.
A high fever at 5400 Sheridan? Come on. Sunrises and sunsets, McLove? Sure. I get them when I can.
We only contact them, okay?
6-3, contact OK 06.
6-4 on scene, ending 99.2.
We're a long ways from 5400 Sheridan, though.
Nora, Mary Queen.
Is a damn high fever. Brian must have a fever. He's not making any sense.
Travis Luke, car key, confirm, please.
Yes, sir, 07.
Shotgun Willies. You been to Shotgun Willies?
No
Wow.
longer on scene.
3-6, we'll take that.
Hey, copy, and just for information, it's going to be on a white 2006 Chevy Silverado, still not about again.
I don't even know what city had that terrible sounding dispatcher.
Yeah, copy.
6-3, copy.
'54th and Corona? Yeah, they intersect.
on data.
Globeville?
Doing.
Corona? Could be. Could be up right next to the highway. How you doing, Betsy?
Go ahead.
Texas Roadhouse, 231 West 104th Avenue, 231 West 104th Avenue, Zone 6 backdoor motion, key holder still pending.
Copy on the route.
En route 08.
Hey, Tom.
361, you can send that to me. 6-3 can disregard. I'll advise on cover.
Globeville, let me see where that's at. Corona.
6-1 copy 08.
Yeah, that would be by Downing.
Just show me off, please.
Let me take a look here.
North 73, I'm
Corona
also on
Street,
scene.
right by
6-1 can
Downing.
disregard.
By Washington. Yeah, 54.
On scene, doing it.
Wait a minute. This ain't right. We need 5400. We might not have a 5400 Corona. 52nd. Yeah, I don't see 54th and Corona. It doesn't intersect up there at 54th, but I can tell. But it would have been off of Washington. All right, what did I miss here while I was looking that up? Anything?
Clear range 20, okay.
220, okay. Noted.
I don't know. I don't think I missed anything. Yeah, Corona doesn't go through right there at 54th. But it does at Sheridan, so... probably, Tom Rust. Probably. We do have a Corona Street here, though.
North South Code 7.
Noli, he's got court in the morning at 8 a.m. I'm assuming that it's going to be for his bond and whatnot.
So wonder.
So Eric Brand is the fifth Beatle. We'll know more in the morning, Noli. We're hoping that his bond goes down tomorrow when he goes in front of the judge. If it had been Denver, he would have been in front of the judge today.
Lincoln, Edward,
But
George, Ocean,
this
Sam,
is Jefferson
Edward,
County
comment,
we're talking about.
date of birth 9/30/75.
So they delayed
9/30/75.
putting him in front of a judge, hoping that he would just pay $35,000 cash bond.
Your driving status has been confirmed. Information attached to your card.
Sorry, copy, can I have a 0?
CR 616616, and are you code 4?
Copy, and yes. Thank you.
So I got the volume low on the scanner right now because I was talking to you guys, reading you the indictment sheet for Eric. Noli, they did a grand jury indictment. They don't have a probable cause. They have a grand jury indictment that they put it in front of, and the grand jury apparently said, okay, you can charge him with it, with the evidence that was presented to the grand jury.
Copy 802.
We'll be behind the U-Haul.
I can't wait till I get this 93 reports
Okay.
from
013.
Ward Road incident. Corona at 5400. Yeah.
Can you try to get a hold of a key holder and have them respond out, please? Break.
Go ahead.
Can you clear one out of Kansas?
No. Can't clear one out of Kansas.
Costas, Salazar, Sam, Adam Lincoln, Adam Zebra, Adam Robert, Christopher, 12-4 of 85, 1-2-4 of
Pete and Tom did
85.
their first bathroom audit today. How you doing, Triple X there? Yeah. I'm not bad.
Zero 14.
Corona intersects with virus. Yeah.
Oh, that is 014.
But it's been pretty quiet on the scanner, really. Overall, I mean, we've had a drunk, we've had some stops go on where they had a few, plates checked and whatnot, normal stuff.
3 North 6 3, your party is coming back clear and valid out of Kansas. Information attached to your card.
7-3, okay, thanks.
50.
We don't know when Eric's getting out. Eric has court in the morning at 8 o'clock. We're hoping his bond amount gets reduced, changed to a surety. Something happens, you know, something reasonable.
Copy, I put the
Because I have to take into consideration a lot of things when making somebody's bond.
Okay.
You blocked Triple X? Yeah.
Just on the line said that they got proper code key holder and a request to cancel.
Adams County Sheriff has a lot going on. Well, Blink, we're listening to Adams County.
Keep going off.
I'm not hearing much.
Let me have a worker here.
I will have them get them back on the line.
We are listening to Adams County Sheriffs.
9016.
I haven't heard anything worth going to yet.
060.
You fixed Windows 10? Really? That keeps you really busy, I'll bet.
We just confirmed the person I attached is not anymore.
Eric started the Crusades and the American Civil War. Yeah.
Again there? Okay.
That would be Otto. They're talking about Tom Rust. They're trying to get the attorney for Otto. Not Eric. Eric has attorneys. They're trying to find an attorney down there in Texas that will take Otto's case. Eric gave smallpox blankets to Native Americans, huh? Yeah. So, keeping everything straight is, you know, difficult at times. Yeah, Otto needs a lawyer. They won't bond Otto out, according to what they're saying down there. Nobody in the area will bond him out. So, I think they're working on getting him a lawyer. They're jacking with him bad.
The party is coming back clear. There's a permanent protection order where he is the restrained party and Brianne Lund is the protected party.
I copy, thank you.
018.
Eric peed in the pool?
So you saw you.
No, the pool's there because of Eric.
Copy clear, false 018.
Clear 62, clear 7.
62 clear, number 018.
Alright, guys. We should probably call it for the stream. We've been on for 2 hours and almost 15 minutes now. I've given all the information that I can. We've all had some fun on the chats. He wants $15,000 up front. He's never lost a case. Huh. Okay.
267, clear transport.
Well, it'd be nice if they can't be intimidated by the cops or the judges or the district attorney or anybody.
Clear 019.
Unemployed, hangry, Arizona housewives, really? So tune in tomorrow
Units on scene,
in the morning. after Eric's court, and things will be updated then, I'm sure. There'll probably be a reasonable bond put on them, we're hoping. They snuck in a court. Well, it's listed, Jen. It's listed for 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. There's also a hold put on him as well. So even if he made the bond, there's still a hold on him at this point as well. So I don't know what the deal is on that yet either. Probably has to do with the ankle bracelet, but I don't know. You guys know how that goes.
Britain 77 transporting custody.
Not so far, Gen T. That's the only date they have so far is tomorrow morning.
Yes, one adult male.
And that's only because he hasn't been bonded out yet.
Mileage 980. Exactly.
So hopefully tomorrow at his arraignment, I think that's what it is an arraignment tomorrow morning. They'll do an arraignment and they'll hear about the bond stuff tomorrow. So the public defender that they assigned for it should argue for a lowered bond. And we went over that earlier about what constitutes a reasonable bond and why bonds are set on people and all that, which means, you know, the usual stuff. Eric made what? He made it snow at the end of May 2019. Well, I know that, Jen. So that's the way it is right now. I don't know who's representing him for tomorrow. I don't think anybody so far is representing him. You're talking about an arraignment at this point.
What's the last four of the VIN on the plate I cleared?
So, those of you who came in late, rewatch the stream in a little bit once it gets done and processed, so that you get the full information of what the grand jury indictment said in it. If you want to hear what was said about that, what was written into that. Eric carried the 10 Commandments.
Information on the vehicle.
That would be good, Jen.
Okay, can you clear Ben? One George 2.
Well, Jen,
George, 5-2
Liberty should be going there in the morning.
Charles 5-0-1-0-9-0.
Get a hold of Liberty in the morning, Jen. I won't be going to it. I'll be sleeping. More than likely. I don't do daytime mornings,
Okay,
basically,
that plate
very
clears on a
often.
gray Pontiac Grand Am. Should have plate Union Ocean
But
King
Liberty's
996. Is registered to a Araceli Rodriguez out of Brighton.
So get a hold of Liberty, Jen.
Yeah.
Well, text it to me, Jen. You got my number. Yeah, I sleep in the mornings.
Clear warning.
024.
Too much to text? Well, give me an idea what you're talking about, Jen. I might have already covered what you're researching in tonight's stream.
Yeah, 6-3. Can you start uploading my location?
Hey, for me, it's going to be Mirage.
Okay, Jen. Sounds good.
Copy. Actual address is
We
gonna
should
be,
sign off. We've been going for 2 hours, 20 minutes.
8500 block, Cook Court. 8500 Cook Court.
Copy, I'll just do it 025.
So we'll catch you guys later.
And 306-3, can you advise,
Stay tuned in the
tow
morning
company
for
that will have
Liberty's
no wheels?
stream for an
Okay,
update
okay.
on what happened at the court. Go to bed. I might find some action to go to tonight. I don't know. You know, there still might be some cop watching involved. But I'm going to end this stream for now.
Network 589.
But I haven't heard anything worth going to yet. Alright guys, I'm ending the stream. We'll catch you guys later. Don't tell anybody, Big Rooster.
Back to an 08 Toyota 4Runner, silver in color, clear and current out of Commerce City, traffic stop 026.